little friends! Welcome to Bright Buddies!
In the middle of a huge dry desert where the sun burned brightly all day long, there lived a tiny little bird. The poor bird was weak, hungry, and completely alone. Her feathers were broken, her wings had lost their strength, and she could barely walk across the hot sand. Every morning she tried to fly high into the sky like other birds, but after only a few seconds, she would fall back onto the ground. There were no trees to rest on, no rivers to drink from, and no flowers to make the desert beautiful. Day after day, the little bird suffered silently and wondered why life had become so painful for her. One evening, as the orange sun slowly disappeared behind the dunes, the bird looked toward the sky with tears in her eyes and whispered sadly, "Why is my life full of suffering? Will this pain ever end?" At that moment, a beautiful white pigeon flew gracefully across the desert sky. Her feathers shined brightly under the sunlight, and she looked calm and peaceful. The little bird gathered all the strength she had left and called out softly, "Please wait. Can you help me?" The kind pigeon immediately flew down and sat gently beside the tired bird. She listened carefully as the little bird shared all her pain, loneliness, and sadness. Finally, the bird asked with a trembling voice, "Can you tell me when my suffering will end?" Feeling sorry for the helpless bird, the pigeon promised to find an answer. The pigeon spread her wings and flew higher and higher into the sky, crossing the clouds until she reached the beautiful, golden gates of heaven. Everything around her glowed with soft light and peace. Soon a gentle angel appeared with a warm smile on her face. The pigeon respectfully asked, "Please tell me, when will the little bird's suffering finally end?" The angel became quiet for a moment and then sadly replied, "The little bird still has many difficult years ahead of her." Hearing this made the pigeon heartbroken. She could not imagine the tiny bird suffering for so long. But before the pigeon left, the angel softly added, "There is one thing that can help her. Tell the bird to repeat these words every day. Thank you, God, for everything." The pigeon quickly returned to the desert and shared the angel's message with the little bird. Although the bird was confused, weak, and still in pain, she decided to follow the advice. The next morning, while sitting on the burning sand with an empty stomach, she closed her eyes and whispered softly, "Thank you, God, for everything." Even when she tried to walk and fell down again, she still smiled gently and repeated the same words. Every day, no matter how difficult life became, the little bird continued practicing gratitude instead of complaining. Slowly, small miracles began to appear around her. Tiny green plants started growing through the dry sand. Dark clouds gathered in the sky for the very first time in years, and cool rain began falling across the desert. The little bird lifted her face toward the sky and happily felt the raindrops touching her feathers. Soon, colorful flowers bloomed everywhere, and a sparkling pond of fresh water appeared nearby. Day by day, the little bird grew healthier and stronger. Her damaged feathers healed beautifully, and her weak wings became powerful once again. Then one magical morning, the little bird spread her wings and flew high into the bright blue sky. For the first time in a very long time, she felt truly happy and peaceful. She laughed joyfully as the wind carried her above the now beautiful green desert. When the white pigeon returned and saw the incredible transformation, she was shocked. The dry desert had turned into a paradise full of life, and the once sad bird was now glowing with happiness. Confused, the pigeon flew back to heaven and asked the angel, "How did everything change so quickly when you said the bird still had years of suffering ahead?" The angel smiled warmly and replied, The bird changed her heart. When she stopped complaining and started being grateful, her suffering became lighter. Gratitude brought peace, hope, and strength into her life. From that day on, the little bird never forgot the power of thankfulness. She continued flying freely across the sky, teaching others that even during the hardest moments in life, gratitude can transform sadness into hope and bring light into the darkest days.
Subscribe to Bright Buddies. Thank you for watching.